Ayushmann, congratulations for completing 10 years at the movies. Exactly 10 years ago, on April 20th, 2012, your movie Vicky Donor opened to packed houses. How do you look back at these 10 years, Ayushmann, and how do you define the first decade of Ayushmann Khurrana, the actor?
It's been a beautiful and a very fruitful journey. It's very surreal that I've completed 10 years. It seems like yesterday, and I still feel I'm still beginning and still evolving and still learning. So it's been a roller coaster of a ride because I've seen everything in these 10 years: success, failure, success again, and learned a lot. So yeah, it's been a very learning experience.
Talking about learning, you of course have theatre background. Do you remember how much time it took you to be comfortable in front of the camera?
Theatre has a completely different grammar of acting because you are catering to audiences who are sitting in front of you. They're live and you have to be loud and bigger gestures, bigger expressions. And cinema is more subtle. And the kind of cinema that I do, it's more subtle than a typical commercial cinema, masala cinema. So I guess, yeah, there are two different genres altogether. But of course, theatre gave me that rootedness. It gave me that wholesomeness as an actor or a performer because I also did a lot of music and writing while I was doing theatre. So it was a wholesome experience, as I said.
We often hear actors talking about their comfort zone. Do you know what is your comfort zone? Because to us it looks like Ayushmann Khurrana is at ease in all zones.
I've mostly done middle of the road cinema, and my comfort zone could be a real middle class heartland zone. That's my comfort zone, yes. But in that zone, how different subjects could be portrayed, I think that's the challenge, because majority of a country stays there. It stays in the smaller cities, and those kind of stories really appeal to me because it appeals to most of the people, and it probably puts that common man on a pedestal and makes that person feel like a hero, even with the imperfections. So I think that was a well thought out zone before venturing into that zone. I think I've been lucky that I've also gotten films like Andhadhun and Article 15 and now Anek, which is very different from my staple zone.
So then which type of role you say will the one which will push Ayushmann Khurrana out of his comfort zone?
I think a typical commercial masala film will probably be out of comfort, and I would love to do it at the same time because I've been a huge fan of commercial masala films and waiting for that. But again, it has to be different. Again, not a typical storyline in the realm of masala cinema. I think I will find some quirk or novelty.
I have many questions about your movies, but before that, I really want to know, be it Vicky of Vicky Donor, Udit of Shubh Manga Saavdhan, Nakul of Badhai Ho, or Mohit of Bewakoofiyan, they all came from Delhi, but yet the worlds were different. What do you think, who will win an argument tomorrow of these four assemble at a place in Delhi?
I think both Vicky and Nakul, because they both were alpha. Udit and Mohit, they were probably more malleable and more docile or subtle as characters, but Vicky of Vicky Donor and Nakul of Badhai Ho, I think these two characters were alpha males. That's why probably there's been an argument.
If you look back at Vicky Donor, were you at all nervous while playing Vicky Arora because it was your debut film? And what part of your personality you kept for yourself while portraying that character?
Most of the people think that I'm from Delhi, but I'm not. I'm from Chandigarh. But of course, my maternal side is from Delhi. So during summer vacations, we were there. And there's like hardly a difference of 4 hours road journey from Delhi to Chandigarh. So I've been around these kind of people. I'm not really Vicky Arora or Vicky Donor or or Nakul of Badhai Ho because I'm not that person. I'm probably more well-rounded as a person. But having said that, I've grown around these kind of people, and it could be my Punjabi nature which came to the forefront in Vicky Arora, and also the middle class upbringing.
You of course bagged 2 Filmfare Awards for Vicky Donor, the award for the best debut actor and the best male playback singer award for the song Panida, which you actually written and composed along with Rochak Kohli. Is there a backstory of Panida, and would you please give us few lines also of the song?
Pani Darang, we composed that song in the cafeteria of DAV College, Chandigarh, in 2002 mostly, and it saw the light of the day after 10 years in 2012. Pani Darang was very close to our hearts because it was not just Rochak and I, because there were other theatre actors, Ravi Panthi and Pradeep, who also used to sing this song, and we used to all jam together. So that's the backstory. That was the favorite song of a band, of a theatre group, and I was just sitting in the office of Shubh Sarkar while we were discussing the script of Vicky Donor, and we were discussing the music, and I was like, I have this song if you want to use it, and I really thought that he probably won't, because he will not take me seriously because I was an actor. He was like, हाँ गा के सुना. So I started singing. He was just smiling and he was like, let's use this song. And I was shocked and surprised. And I was like, कौन गाएगा? I thought उस time पे मोहित चौहान शायद वो गाएगा, but कहता नहीं तू ही गाएगा. So I was just beaming, and cut to Filmfare Awards. I get the best singer, playback singer. I think it was very surreal.
And a compliment by Sonu Nigam as well.
Yeah. Because it was very tough during that time. I was not expecting it all, because Abhi Mujh Mein Kahin, Sonu Nigam got nominated. Then Phir Le Aaya Dil, Arijit Singh got nominated. I was one of the nominees. So it was a tough one.
Please give us few lines of Panida.
Yeah, I've sung that so many times. नींद में भी गा सकता हूँ आजकल तो. माहियाना आया मेरा, माहियाना आया, माहियाना आया मेरा, माहियाना आया, रांझना ना आया मेरा, माहियाना आया, माहियाना आया मेरा, रांझना ना आया, खादा नूर वेख के अखियां चो हंजुर उड़ दे.
Ayushmann, do you remember what was it like experiencing the stardom post the release of Vicky Donor, and what get you going through that sort of a rough patch between 2012 and 2015, when movies like Nautanki Sala, Hawai Zada and Bewakoofiyan underperformed at the box office?
Immediately after Vicky Donor, I was not ready for that stardom at all. I was not expecting that kind of success for Vicky Donor. I thought it would be a critical acclaimed film with a certain box office number, but I think it became super successful commercially as well, which was a huge surprise. And the kind of attention I was getting, I was overwhelmed. I was not prepared for that, and it was difficult to handle that. It affected me both professionally and personally, I guess, immediately after the first film. And I made choices which were probably not reaching the benchmark of Vicky Donor, but at the same time I was not getting anything. Like, the industry didn't know what to do with me, because Vicky Donor, the script was an anomaly. You don't get such kind of scripts.
Yeah.
So I was just waiting, doing just one film a year, because I was not getting those kind of films. So I made mistakes. I will not call them mistakes. I'll call them like learnings. And I'm glad Dum Laga Ke Haisha happened. And again, then there was Dum Laga Ke Haisha, Shubh Manga Saavdhan, Bareli Barfi, and it was beautiful from there.
Talking about Dum Laga Ke Haisha, that was really the next milestone in your film journey. How much into the making of that movie you realized that, okay, this is going to be a game changer for you?
I think it was at script level. When I read the script, I could not put the script down. It was that film which I was really sure that it will work, because it was a small film, but it had a lot of heart. For me, it was, I think, a huge film. So it just changed everything, and I was waiting for this film immediately after Vicky Donor, but I was not getting this kind of film. So I'm glad the script writers, they discovered something in them and they started writing films like Dum Laga Ke Haisha and Badhai Ho and Andhadhun and stuff like that.
So you of course, your character Prem is a fan of Kumar Sanu in the film. It never tempted you while making the film or even during the promotion that you should sing at least one song in that movie? You of course are a singer as well.
In this film, the setting was the 90s, and 2-3 songs were sung by Kumar Sanu himself, and there was no scope for that. And even Momo Ke Dhage, I guess that song is beautiful, and Papon does great justice to the song. I think he deserves everything for that song. So I think there was no space for me in that film to sing, and it has to come from the director also.
You know, after Dam Laga Ke Haisha, you emerge as his go-to actor for films which are having unusual premises, be it Shubh Manga Saavdhan, Badhai Ho, to name a few. What was your initial response when you read the story of Shubh Manga Saavdhan?
I got the narration of Shubh Manga Saavdhan while I was shooting for Bareilly Ki Barfi in Lucknow.
Okay.
And you know, that kind of script and the one-liner could really rattle most of the lead actors, because it's not alpha, it's something which is questioning your manhood, like the typical definition of manliness. So I guess it was again a game changer. It was I think very courageous of me to take that character, being a leading hero, and it's also a great statement at the same time. And I was just dying to work with Anand sir that time, and Prasanna had already given a hit down south.
Yeah.
So this is the only remake I've done.
Yeah.
So I was just excited about that first.
You know, Ayushmann, looking at your filmography, especially last 5 years, you've been hitting bullseye. Everything that you're doing is a hit and been appreciated. Do you know, when everything is working in your favor, do you sometimes have these bouts of self-doubt?
Not really. I guess if you have right people around you, you should be wary of yes men around you, and if they're giving you the right perspective and not just saying the words you want to hear, or just praising you. I'm surrounded by people who are highly critical of me, so it keeps you grounded and also gives you a better perspective of how to choose the scripts and what's going on around you. So I think I'm in safer hands with people just criticizing around me, like my manager, my wife, or my brother, my father, everyone.
You know, you of course have teamed up twice with Sujit Sarkar and Anubhav Sinha. With Anubhav, of course, you're making Anek. How do you define a perfect creative match between an actor and a director? And what type of conversation you generally have with your directors?
You know, most important thing is that you should be one with the director in terms of the thought process, because sometimes you are imagining something else and the director has a different vision. So it needs to be at the same plane. And with respect to the script, for example, if you have the same worldview, nothing like it, and if you are also have same value system, or maybe the kind of films that you're making, and if you resonate with the plot or the milieu or the circumstance or the situation, I think it plays really well between these two, because it's teamwork, and I'm a director's actor, and I would love to collaborate with the directors who are visionaries or who have seen life from a different perspective and who are clutter breakers. So I'm glad that I've gotten that opportunity.
And what type of conversation generally you have with your director? What type of whys you ask to your director?
It all happens at the script level. I don't indulge in any kind of conflict while we are filming. So it has to happen while the narration is going on, or when I say yes to the script and we're jamming in different ideas. Could be anything, like smallest thing, from like what am I going to wear, to like bigger perspective, that what kind of statement it will make in the society, or what kind of change it will bring. So it varies from top to bottom.
You know, you of course have a very pleasing personality and a very, very good smile. Did you ask Sujit Sarkar while filming Gulabo Se Tabo why your character was not allowed to smile? Or even in other films? Do you ask this to your directors?
I smiled a lot in Vicky Donor, yes, but Gulabo Se Tabo, it was meant to be a despicable character, and I was dying to work with Shujit Da again, and also Mr. Bachchan, because you don't get these opportunities very often, so it was like a dream come true for me.
But you asked that, am I supposed to smile? Even in Dam Laga Ke Haisha, Prem did not smile once.
Yeah, of course. But again, that's the demand of the character. Both the characters, like Prem's character was despicable till the climax, because he was the one who had imperfections. He has this toxic masculinity in him. So he was meant to be like that. And again, in the Gulabo Se Tabo, technically both the characters were despicable. Even Bachchan Saab's character didn't smile in the film.
Yeah.
So it was that film, yeah.
You know, you said that you used to be a method actor, but
Yeah.
that you earn while acting for camera. So what happened to roles that requires an actor to get into the skin of a role, like say playing Akash in Andhadhun or Aryan Ranjan in Article 15?
Yeah, of course, you have to have a certain method with characters you don't really resonate with, or probably you've not experienced anything like that in life before. With Andhadhun, of course, it was different, so I had to visit the blind school and take piano lessons. It was, both the things were very tough. And with Ayan Ranjan in Article 15, I had to read a lot about casteism in India, and also meet people who probably suffer. And I think it changed my view completely. I'm still learning and evolving, and I think these two films were very, very important. As an actor, because I had to undergo a certain method.
So it depends on the story,
Absolutely.
how much effort to put
Yeah.
in each movie. Do you know, of all the characters that you have played, most of them have come from North India. I think in Anek you have gone to Northeast, where this is a film directed by Anubhav Sinha.
Yeah.
Are you right now most excited about Anek?
I'm very excited about it because it's again a very different subject. It caters to something which has never been spoken about in the past. So I would always love to do films which are very different. People have not discussed or talked about. So that gives me a lot of kick, and Anek is also one of those subjects.
Looking back, do you remember a moment where you for the first time felt like if I put a little extra effort, the outcome would be better than what director has conceived?
It's very, I don't know, you can't really think about certain things, because when you are on set, director expects something else and probably you'll give him something else, and you come on the same plane or that congruent area, you reach that space, because I'm a kind of an actor who doesn't really think about everything. Like, well, if I'm reading a script and conceiving a scene, and I won't think about how my hand will go, I'll walk towards that side, I will not block. Like, I don't do blocking while I'm reading my lines. So I'll go on set and then discover different props and work accordingly, or probably discover the other actor. More than acting, I'll react. So I would love to surprise my director. And till the time you're real and earnest and you're one with the character, I think the director will always be happy.
So which scene, if I can request you to pick, which you felt like, it was this and I brought it here?
I think Andhadhun, there was a scene in the cop station where he's about to sign, and before sign he thinks about it, dreams about he thinks about a parallel reality where he just confesses कि ये देख सकती है, झूठ बोल रही, मैं देख सकता हूँ, ये झूठ बोल रही है, इसने खून किया है. I think that particular scene, because I was not prepared for that. That was a last minute improvisation by the director. That's Sriram Raghavan for you. He always does that. So there were no lines. He was like, तुझे बताया गया कि तुम्हें अब बोलना है कि मैं देख सकता हूँ. And I rattled everything which is coming out of my mouth. It was not scripted. So I think that was a particular scene where I was just high on energy. मैं देख सकता हूँ, ये इसने खून किया है. And then suddenly next moment I am just signing. So I think that was the scene which was.
Chandigarh Kare Aashiqui was an important film for you in your career. It of course started the conversation about trans community. While playing Manu Manjal, were there moments where you find yourself emotionally involved?
I think, of course, you have to be empathetic towards fellow human beings, irrespective of caste, color, gender. So I guess I'll always be like that with every film. Like, even while doing Shubh Manga Saavdhan or a film like Chandigarh Kare Aashiqui, you need to be empathetic towards trans people, LGBT community, and if you are not, then there is no point doing that film. So I think there is a bit of heart in that character that you play.
Ayushmann, what is that one thing that you will never do in a movie? Maybe because it's against your ethics, or it takes you to a place that you never want to visit.
I would not glorify anything which is toxic. I will not glorify the negativities of the society. The messaging has to be correct. even if I have to play somebody who's negative, I will be shown as a negative person. It has happened in the past with Dam Laga Ke Haisha, with Chandigarh Kare Aashiqui, where I was despicable. I was against trans people in the film in the first half, and then there is this transition which happens in the second half. So I was not glorified. I was shown कि ये गलत है. I think वो मैं कभी नहीं करूँगा कि जहाँ पर glorify करना पड़े अगर आप गलत हो या फिर आप में कुछ negativity है. लेकिन हीरो को दिखाना ज़रूरी नहीं है. हीरो अगर गलत है उसे गलत दिखाना ज़रूरी है.
Sure. Ayushmann, have you ever borrowed anything from the character that you have played in the past while portraying any role?
I have just borrowed my physicality of Chandigarh Kare Aashiqui in Anek because I did a certain body transformation for Chandigarh Kare Aashiqui, and I'm using that in Anek as well because I again play an alpha character. So that's about it. Otherwise, I don't take the character back home. I'm very detached as a person when it comes to life and career, professional and personal. Because I guess if you're taking your character too seriously, I think there is no line between off screen and on screen. So I think it becomes difficult as a person to live life.
During a session at the Mami Movie Mela in 2014, you said being a star is incidental, but if you'll only survive if you are a good actor. That is true for you. Where do you see yourself going ahead in the next 10 years?
I said that because I think you become a star or a superstar because of people's love more than the talent, but you can become an actor because of your own talent. So if you are talented and people love you a lot, and also the choices resonate with people, your scripts and films, that makes you a star. But acting prowess is something else, which will always survive, of course.
And finally, Ayushmann, you said you have read a lot of poetry by Shiv Kumar Batalvi. Is there a poem or his lines which you'd like to share with us today as we celebrate your 10 years at the movies?
If not Batalvi's poem, I would love to share something which I had read some 5 years back. मुझे पता नहीं किसने लिखी है पर it's very interesting. मंजिल तक पहुंचना भी और वहाँ खड़े रहना भी. मंजिल तक पहुंचना भी और वहाँ खड़े रहना भी बहुत मुश्किल है बड़े होकर बड़े रहना भी.
Ayushmann Khurrana, thank you so much and best of luck, and looking forward to many more surprises from you.
Thank you, Vishal.
Thank you.